This fall, thousands of Pennsylvania
What's going on, everybody? Can everybody hear me loud and clear? Yeah, I'm totally burned out, dude. But I'm here, so. Hey, why can't I set a goal? Why won't it let me set a goal? Can someone send a super chat to make sure it's working? I don't know why it won't let me set a goal. This app is so bad, too, dude. I don't know why it's doing this. Something set up where you were so mad at this guy this afternoon. Yeah, it was bad, dude. Deb, thank you for the 10 joules. I appreciate it. But I mean this super chat specifically. Like, why is it not letting me set a goal? Why is it doing that? Yeah, it won't show you a goal because I haven't set one. They're working. I just don't know why it won't let me set one. This must be a glitch. Humble Hummingbird, thank you for becoming a tadpole. Appreciate you. FOD, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Appreciate you, dude. Charcity, thank you for being a member for 9 months. Let's go. Jessica, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Appreciate you. If Fetterman get back to me now, he's not going to call me back after I said all that. He wouldn't have called me back anyway. How long have I been on? 60 seconds. Literally. I just signed on. He will never call me back. And Fetterman's a joke. So there's not much more to say about it. Right? I'm actually trying to plan something where I can say what I have to say to him in person. His betrayal is off the charts. Yeah, he fell. He fell today. He fell flat on his face. And I called him and I said, thank God you have health care. I said, thank God in Israel you have health care. And then I said, unlike the millions of Americans who are going to die as a result of not having it because of your ignorance. Lorraine, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat, Lorraine. Thank you for all you do and spread the truth. Thank you, Lorraine. I really appreciate the support. Couldn't do it without you, trust me. Could not do it without you. I don't know why there's a glitch. It will not let me set a goal for right now, people, so I don't know why it's doing that. So unless I can do it on the phone, but I don't know what the deal is. Let me try and set it up on the phone. If not, I'll just have to rely on with the support. Let me see. Let me go to the chat here. I don't think I can set a goal from here. No, it doesn't let me set a goal. I have no idea. I have no freaking idea why it won't let me do it. The Epstein stuff is really bad. I'm going to be honest with you guys. The more that I read, I will be shocked now based off how this is unfolding if Trump makes it through the next 3 years. And I did not think that was the case before. This is really bad. And their desperation is proof that it's bad. The fact that he's remained relatively quiet on Truth Social, the fact that he refuses to even confront it. There's a number of things the emails say that are important, but basically that Trump knew about the girls. There's emails between Trump and his brother that reference blowing Bubba. We don't know. Putin basically potentially being in possession of pictures of Trump engaged in schmegsual acts with someone named Bubba. There's all sorts of stuff. Trump in the presence of an Epstein victim. Trump spent hours at a residence with an Epstein victim. There's a whole bunch of stuff. But the point is, it actually contradicts stuff that she has said previously. I'm talking about Ghislaine Maxwell. And so that, I think, is the more important aspect of all of it until we get, because they're not just going to dump him over what's been released so far. But I think that from what I've seen, I'm pretty proof positive that there's, I mean, we haven't seen all of the emails yet, but I'm pretty positive based on what I've seen, if they were talking that way in those emails, that there's a lot more damaging stuff that's going to come out. Am I speculating? No, I'm not speculating. Speculating is not the right word. I am definitely not speculating. I have tons of evidence why I believe there's that Trump is covering stuff up here, and I have enough evidence to conclude that he's a bad person, right? And that he engaged in behavior that I think is incredibly problematic, to say the very least. He was aware of it. There's no question now he knew that this was going on, which I think is a huge deal. For me, that's enough. For me, that's enough. But you have to understand something. For Trump supporters, it's much different, right? The burden is much different. You can go read the emails, Leprechaun. I can tell you what's in them. You can go read and verify if you want. You can go to the U.S. Oversight Committee, and you can click on the tab, and you can read the emails yourself. Trump knew about the girls is one thing that is pretty significant. Trump knew that Epstein was engaging in inappropriate behavior at Mar-a-Lago. And instead of banning him immediately, he gave him a warning. So, dude, you can just Google it. You can say I'm lying and these emails don't say that, or you just haven't read them. That's all. You haven't read them. It's a reality, man. I'm not Google. Okay, I'm not Google. I can tell you Epstein wrote, and this is from 2011, by the way, just so everybody knows. This is from 2011. So when you think about 2011, and let me put Do Not Disturb on really quick because I want to go through this before. I want to go through all the emails, what's damaging, what's not, before I even talk to anybody, and then they can attempt to refute it, although I imagine Trump supporters are going to be scared to admit they support Trump tonight. I very much believe that's the case. I don't believe that we're going to have many Trump supporters willing to admit they support Trump this evening. So let's start here. Can everyone hear me loud and clear? Can everyone hear me loud and clear? Let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. You see me loud and clear. Okay. Let's start here then. So the first thing is to remember that we're talking about the year 2011, which means, and why is that important? Donald Trump wasn't in elected politics in 2011. Okay? So it gives them very little incentive to lie. These are private emails they don't believe are ever going to be released. Yes, this is live, Joe. This is live. So Epstein wrote in April 2011 in an email to Ghislaine Maxwell indicating Trump spent hours at Epstein's house with a victim whose name was redacted. Epstein emphasized that this victim has never once been mentioned in connection with Trump publicly. So he's implying that there's secrecy about Trump's encounters with this victim. There was another 2011 email that recounts a victim's claim that she worked for Trump at Mar-a-Lago while underage. This is according to Epstein. In a January 2019 message to author Michael Wolff, Epstein said that, of course, very important, of course, Trump knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop suggesting Trump was aware of underage girls in Epstein's social and business circles. He, of course, knew about the girls. This is very important. Why is this important? This is important because this relates to Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein frequenting Mar-a-Lago and what they refer to as poaching young girls, like for trafficking purposes, from the establishment. In a December 2015 email exchange between Epstein and Michael Wolff, they discussed potential strategies for Trump to respond to media regarding his ties to Epstein. They specifically suggest that a denial from Trump could be useful for both men's public images. Coming up with strategies for denial. Strategies for denial. Pretty serious stuff. Is this having a problem again? Wow, this is just unbelievable, guys. I don't know what the issue is. Why is it doing this again? I don't know what to do about this, folks. Is it doing this again, or can you guys hear me loud and clear? If it's doing this again, I don't know what to do. All right, it's fine. So let's go here. Sorry, I don't know. I'm having issues with OBS, everybody. So if you're wondering what I've been dealing with OBS. So let's continue, right? There's some evidence in these emails that shows Steve Bannon was aware of these connections. I want to revert back to something Steve Bannon said recently, which was, if Democrats get elected in 2028, we're all going to prison. If Democrats get elected in 2028, we're all going to prison. Well, that seems pretty significant now that we're reading these emails. Then, of course, with the emails, we need to tie in the testimony of Ghislaine Maxwell, who sat down with the Deputy Attorney General, right? Todd Blanche, who was Donald Trump's personal attorney, and was then rewarded essentially a minimum security prison, right? Quid pro quo for false testimony. Now, we have not received any proof about that deal, but common sense tells us that that's what happened. Why does common sense tell us that's what's happened? Ghislaine Maxwell was already convicted. There was no reason for the Deputy Attorney General to sit down with Ghislaine Maxwell. None whatsoever. The only reason, and if some of you will remember, if you watch me on TikTok, I called this out as soon as he was scheduled to go meet with her, that it was a cover-up. that he's going down there to secure the story. Todd Blanche was Donald Trump's personal attorney during the hush money case. He's Donald Trump's personal attorney. So when you say deputy attorney general, it may seem normal. It's not when you consider who the deputy attorney general is. But regardless, she then was rewarded with a minimum security prison. 2 days after, she gave testimony that she never witnessed Donald Trump in an inappropriate setting. She never witnessed him in a private setting, only publicly in social settings, and he was never inappropriate with anyone in her presence. Let's go back. Let's go back to 2011. Epstein wrote in that April 2nd, 2011 email to Ghislaine Maxwell. Remember, they're just talking. It's just email. They have no idea these emails are ever going to come out. They're speaking privately, and they have no incentive to lie. This is prior to Donald Trump ever getting elected president of the United States. That Trump spent hours at Epstein's house with a victim whose name was redacted. Epstein then emphasized this victim has never been mentioned publicly in connection with Trump, which implies secrecy. So that just tore her testimony apart. So what she said publicly is what she said to Todd Blanche, which was then released publicly in an attempt to get him out from underneath these accusations, has now completely fallen apart. She received a reward for that testimony. That was an exchange for her testimony. These questions about quid pro quo for false testimony benefiting Trump, and you're still going to support him? This is extremely serious. Do not let anyone lead you to believe this can just be swept under the rug. Because it can't. This is serious shit, man. This is serious shit. What are you talking about, dude? The House is moving next week on releasing the Epstein files. The vote was expected after Thanksgiving recess. I think sometime in the first week of December. This is serious, and I've heard people saying, look, my opinion is Donald Trump is going to step down and he's going to claim it's his mental health, or that it's his health issues. I don't think that's going to happen. I think my prediction, and you guys know I've been reasonably accurate in my predictions, as we're now witnessing this right now, I think this is going to crash and burn. I do not think Donald Trump's going to step down. I think he will have to be, if this comes to it, forcibly removed. That won't happen until after the midterms, unless the GOP is willing to step up and do the right thing. So I don't think he's going anywhere. I think that this has the potential for Donald Trump to be exposed and remain in the White House. He's already being exposed. Look, people, we're not talking about like something small here. We're talking about people who have no reason. It's a private conversation years before he's even president. Would you believe that, or a violent sex offender in Ghislaine Maxwell who has every reason to lie? Every reason to lie. And guess what? She was handsomely rewarded for that lie. The prison that she's in now is Camp Bryan, Texas. In Camp Bryan, it's in Camp Bryan, Texas. It is a minimum security prison in which you can work off-site. That's how lax it is. Okay, I'm going to go over this again since people are still not understanding, right? Since people still don't understand. In 2011, Ghislaine Maxwell said Trump spent hours, or Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell said Trump spent hours at Epstein's house with a redacted victim's name. Epstein followed up that conversation with the victim has never been mentioned once in connection with Trump. That's seriously concerning. This second part, I think, is huge as well. Huge as well. In January 19, right, in a message to author Michael Wolff, Epstein directly asserted that, of course, Trump knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop suggesting Trump was aware of underage girls in Epstein's social and business circles. In 2015, 4 years prior, in an exchange between Epstein and Michael Wolff again, they were discussing strategies for Trump to respond to media regarding his ties to Epstein, saying that he should deny what's happening, deny that they had a relationship, and it could be useful for both men's public images if they come to an agreement on a strategy of denial. If you're not pissed off, you're not a patriot. If you're not pissed off, you're not a patriot. The phone line is on. Let's get some opinions. If you are a Trump supporter, yes, the dog that never barked. It's another one. I think this is such serious potential for being so embarrassing for the country, because I do not think this guy would step down and say, I've seen a lot of people say that they think he's going to step down and say, well, it's because of my health. Not in a million years. Not in a million years would he do that. I don't know, that person didn't speak or something. I don't know what happened. I don't know. When's he going to be impeached? After the midterms? That's best case scenario.
Call from
Dan Cooper.
What's up, Darren? Alex, thank you so much for the $4.99, Alex. I'm not sure yet, Alex. I'm not sure that I've seen that email, Alex, but I'll look. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Go ahead, Darren.
Dan, not Derek.
You saying Dan?
Are you there? Yeah, Dan Cooper. Dan.
So
D-A-N.
Are you sure? Are you saying damn like D-A-M-N or D-A-N-M Danum?
Dan. Danny. Daniel.
Dan. So there's no M at the end?
No, why are you doing that?
I don't know. Go ahead. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes.
Okay. Why are you a Trump supporter?
Why?
Yes,
Because
we just
I'm
watched
not
this happen. What are
crazy.
your comments on these Epstein emails?
I don't trust anything on those Epstein emails. They were under the custody of James Comey's daughter, the same James Comey that knowingly filed false evidence in the FISA court so he could spy on Trump.
So
I mean,
you do understand how these
people are
emails were
gnarly, man.
obtained, right?
Huh?
You do
Yeah, they
understand
had to
how
go and confiscate it from James Comey's daughter's office.
they
She had control of them
subpoenaed
in
the
New
estate.
York. Ah, you're lying.
I'm lying.
You're not telling the
I'm
truth.
lying?
You're not telling the truth. man.
You're telling me these emails
Yeah.
are not from the estate? They were
What
not
estate are you talking about?
the Jeffrey Epstein estate. You don't know what you're talking about. So they were never.
No,
they were not,
all of it is in the custody. It's not like it's still over there at their building.
They
in
were
their,
in. They
no,
were
it
as a
was in the
part of the
custody.
estate.
It was from the estate, yes, to begin with.
She
but
had no custody.
it's not like at the estate. You know,
She had no.
it's not held in trust or some shit.
So first of all, she had no custody over the emails.
Yes, she did. James Comey's daughter had custody of everything.
She doesn't possess. You think
yes,
then possess the emails? So you think she went in and edited the emails?
Who knows what she did? But obviously, Bill Clinton's name isn't coming up. So that there alone is evidence to say that it's been molested. No pun intended.
But we haven't seen all of them.
I mean,
yet.
Bill Clinton had frequent flyer miles on the Lolita Express, man. You got to be serious.
So you do understand
Russia, Russia all over again, and everything else be damned.
You do understand they didn't subpoena. You understand the committee didn't issue the subpoena until August, right? When was she fired?
The committee. I just tuned into you, so I'm not up to speed with what you've been talking about.
Well, I'll explain it to you. Right? So first of all, what committee? The Oversight Committee, who's investigating this situation. They subpoenaed these records, right? The House Oversight Committee. They subpoenaed them, right?
Yes.
From the estate of Jeffrey Epstein. So they issued an subpoena.
And you know where all this is being held?
Hold on, they issued a subpoena.
In New York. No, the estate, no, it's not sitting over there on the island or anything like that. No way, dude. It was sitting in the office of James Comey's daughter.
What are you talking about? She's been fired.
Everything you can call it.
Guys,
you can call it what you want.
She wasn't in custody.
You can call it evidence. You can call it the estate. You can call it,
Guy,
those are just words.
Guy, why do you think,
semantics.
Why are you under the impression, I don't know what you're talking about. They were held in the estate, right? In the estate. So the executor controls an estate. You have an executor or co-executors. They control the estate. So you have digital and physical. Excuse me. Yes.
No, see that's where you're being intellectually dishonest.
Excuse me. You don't know what you're talking about.
You're being intellectually dishonest. You think there's some lawyer there holding all this bullshit?
I'm going to explain to you why.
No. They confiscated everything. They confiscated everything. You're just dishonest.
I'm going to explain to you. Dishonest. I'm going to explain to you why your theory doesn't work. If you can just remain calm.
Why my theory doesn't work?
Yes, your theory that it was. Yeah, it is a theory. Can you stop talking for a second? Can you stop talking, Guy? Do I need to mute you, or are you gonna listen? So the estate, right, had physical and digital copies of the documents. So even if your theory was true, that they messed with them somehow, they're still digital copies, right? They're still digital copies. So they would have to match the digital copies. So the co-executors are in possession of whatever is a part of an estate before the Oversight Committee subpoenas the estate. They subpoena the estate in August 2025. They get the documents in September. And not just this, including the birthday book and other things. There was an actual storage location for the estate. It has nothing to do with Comey's daughter. This is how the formal legal process works as a part of estate management. I don't know if you've ever had someone pass away in your family or something.
I'm not up to speed with all that. I'm not up to speed with all that.
No, okay, you don't have to be up to speed with it. You need to be up to speed with the fact that you don't need to be up to speed with that. Let me finish, please. Let me finish, please. You don't need. Let me finish, please. Calm down. You don't have to be up to speed with that to be up to speed with understanding that they don't have to be in the office of someone where they would have the ability to edit them. It's legal. They're under legal control as a part of an estate management. Have you ever had someone in your family die?
It doesn't have to be under the control of some governmental agency for some other lawyer to go in and edit them. Is that what you just said?
What I'm telling you is that as a part of estate management, co-executors possess what's a part of an estate. That's why they had to subpoena the information. If the government was already in control of the information, they wouldn't had to have issued a subpoena in August 2025. Number two, if you're saying they messed with the copies, well, guess what? There's also digital copies of these same documents.
It's called the Freedom of Information Act. You have to subpoena, requests from the government. The government
they're not subpoena. It's not subpoenaed from the government. They subpoenaed the estate. Tell me that you're not this, like, you can't understand what I'm saying?
Well, no. Okay. I think I'm on your page, right?
And I don't think you are, page. But you're
Let's
trying.
Let's just say it's a divorce. Let me try. I'm just going to put it in layman's terms, right? Let's just say it's a divorce case. The government came in and took this, and the estate took this. I have to subpoena both.
What? The government has to subpoena an estate. The government doesn't automatically. The government. Shut up. Stop talking. Can you stop talking? The government doesn't automatically have formal legal control of an estate unless they issue a subpoena, right? They have to comply with the subpoena. It was a privately managed estate. Then congressional action occurred through the Oversight Committee. They issued a subpoena, and then they transferred them to the Oversight Committee for review and public release. That's how it works.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. But
so there is no chance that it was this. Okay, good.
What? There is no chance of what?
There is no chance of your theory that they were doctored. That doesn't make any sense.
No chance?
No chance. There's multiple different copies in multiple different forms. They can't doctor them.
It's spawned by God,
What are you saying about God now? I'm not sure the relevance, God. I'm simply stating for you.
Whoever is this lead law firm that is in charge, in custody of this estate that you keep saying, they're spawned by God. They will not do no wrong.
Yeah,
that's bullshit.
Anyway, Alex, that's not what I said. Nice straw man fallacy.
Everything, any kind of emails, any kind of evidence, any kind of correspondence, anything like that, that was confiscated. Your theory is bullshit.
You don't know. You have no idea what you're talking about. So let me repeat this again.
The government took everything. Everybody's listening on the other.
And they all think you're stupid. So that's just.
They know that you're just full of shit. And you're just coming up with bullshit.
Okay, listen, Darren, you're clearly not going to absorb the information I gave you.
Darren. Shit.
Are you saying damn or danum?
I'm saying suck my dick.
I can't say if you're saying damn or damn. Is it damn or Dan? I'll explain this again since you're just a very angry man that doesn't understand the estate process. A government agency is not initially in possession. When you have an estate, you have to subpoena to get those records. They don't have to voluntarily turn them over. So the executors manage that estate. What happens is the Oversight Committee takes congressional action, right? They have subpoena power. They use that subpoena power and subpoena the estate for the information. That's how it works. It wasn't in anyone's office, Comey's daughter's office. Secondly, they didn't subpoena these documents until August. They didn't receive them until September. Sorry to tell you, Dan, but your defense of Donald Trump is running thin. We've reached that point, ladies and gentlemen. We've reached that point. You need to accept this is very serious. And maybe you once supported Trump, but how can you still support him after this? Again, I'm going to repeat this again since so many people are confused on the right. Everyone on the left gets it. Epstein wrote in a 2011 email to Ghislaine Maxwell indicating Trump spent hours at Epstein's house with a victim whose name was redacted. Epstein emphasized that the victim has never once been mentioned in connection with Trump previously, so they're implying secrecy. Another 2011 email recounts a victim's claim that she worked for Trump at Mar-a-Lago while underage. In 2019, there was a message to author Michael Wolff, right, where Epstein directly asserted that, of course, Trump knew about the girls, in reference to what we've talked about before with poaching, what they referred to as poaching young girls from Mar-a-Lago, as he asked Ghislaine to stop suggesting Trump was aware of underage girls in Epstein's social and business circles. In 2015, there's an email exchange between Epstein and Michael Wolff where they discuss potential strategies for Trump to respond to the media regarding his ties to Epstein, specifically suggesting that a denial could be useful for both men's public images. There's evidence in these emails that Steve Bannon was aware of these connections. In a 2019 exchange shows Bannon surprised that Epstein had not yet been seen as the connective tissue linking Mar-a-Lago, Trump, and an accuser. Just recently, Bannon said, if a Democrat ever gets elected again, we're all going to prison. And then, of course, you tie this into the fact that his deputy attorney general, once his former personal attorney, defended him in the hush money case, went down to go visit Ghislaine Maxwell to secure her narrative. She gave testimony to Todd Blanche about Donald Trump never behaving inappropriately. And now we go back to this 2011 email. Remember, in the testimony, she said she never witnessed Donald Trump in any kind of a private setting, only social settings, and he was never inappropriate. Well, if we go back to this 2011 email to Ghislaine Maxwell from Epstein, he says Trump spent hours at Epstein's house with a victim whose name was redacted. This is in April 2011. No incentive to lie. Trump's not even in elected politics at that point. This cannot be denied now. The truth is the truth. Guys, I cannot set a goal tonight. I would appreciate supporting, but I can't set a goal. It's not letting me set a goal. There's some glitch on YouTube or something where I can't set a goal. So you can support in the link tree in my bio, or you can support on Super Chat. Either one, I would appreciate it. So what are you going to do in a scandal that you believe is true falls flat? Will you publicly apologize for the accusation? What accusation am I making, Steb? I'm literally reading the emails. All I'm telling Donald Trump to do is release the files. All I'm telling Donald Trump to do is be transparent with the American people. The American people deserve transparency. I'm not saying anything else. I don't know to what extent he did what. What I know is it's enough for me to say he shouldn't be president of the United States, and I stand 10 toes down on that. Jess, thank you for the 100 for 2 jewels. Thank you for the 4 jewels, Jess. Appreciate you so much. Alicia with the $10 super chat. Let's go. Thank you so much, Alicia. I really appreciate it. I would also appreciate if you guys hit the subscribe button. I go live as many nights as I can and do political lives. So if you guys enjoy the political lives over here, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss when I go live. If you don't hit the subscribe and notification bell, you will never know when I go live because TikTok is really wishy-washy with that whole thing. Corey, thank you for becoming a tadpole, Corey. Appreciate you so much. E.E. Green, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Implied guilt, not cool, though. I don't think I'm what I'm implying, if you could even say that I'm implying something, okay, is that Donald Trump has not been honest. That's what I'm mostly applying. Sheffy, thank you so much for the CA, Sheffy. I can't say it on here, but seriously, Sheffy, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, bro. I'm implying Donald Trump was dishonest. He was not telling the truth. So again, let's think about all of this. Let's pretend for a second that you're not crazy, okay? And you look at these files and you don't believe they're doctored by some weird thing like that last guy said. Why would Ghislaine Maxwell, why would the deputy attorney general, who was Donald Trump's personal attorney, go sit down with Ghislaine Maxwell, right? Get fed lies and then announce them publicly if there wasn't something to hide? Why would Donald Trump tell people to stop talking about this? Stop talking about this. Why should the American people stop talking about this? Why would Kash Patel, who perpetuated the idea that the director of the FBI and the director of the FBI, Dan Bongino, both said repeatedly, that the director of the FBI is in possession of a Rolodex that has all of the names of powerful people who are guilty and associated with Epstein for these specific crimes. He gets in as FBI director, gets his buddy Dan Bongino in there, and now they both say there's no such thing as a Rolodex. There's no such thing as anything. In fact, he went as far as to say this under oath. Under oath. He said, there is no evidence Epstein trafficked any young girls to anyone but himself. Under oath. He also said you were stupid if you keep talking about this. Yes, he did, gamer guy. Which speaks volumes. Look, guys, this has the... I don't even think people... You got to think about this a second. Trump's ego is about to clash with the truth. His ego is about to clash with the truth. So I've seen a ton of political commentators think that he's potentially going to step down and use his health as a reason to do so. He's not going to step down. This has the potential to get ugly on a world stage and be the most embarrassing skull. We're talking about the serial abuse of children in regards to Epstein. Serial. This would be a clash that, with his ego and then his refusal to step down, if the Republicans are not willing to step up and look and see the truth and actually take appropriate action, I think it's a recipe for disaster. I think it's a recipe for disaster. Here's the other thing. Let's just think about this outside of the scope of MAGA, okay? Who else is being protected? What other dirtball in our government is in these files that, by extension, is being protected now because of his refusal to release these documents? I don't care who it is. I don't care what political party they belong to. I don't care what their history is. They all need to be exposed, and they need to stand up in front of the American people, and they need to answer for their crimes. And that's a fact. But there's only one group of people refusing to do that, and it's MAGA. There's only one group. Because there's Republicans outside of MAGA that are down with releasing this shit and are pissed at Trump, generally speaking, but pissed about this as well. Guy, there's thousands of emails. I mean, it is what it is. But again, like you heard that Democrat that called before, and you can call in, whoever that guy was. I accidentally forwarded your call or something. I don't know what happened. You got disconnected. This is more than politics. Yeah, I don't like Trump. But this isn't about my hatred or distaste for Donald Trump's policies. This is about he's a bad, dangerous guy, and I don't think he should be in elected politics. This is about the truth. They actually do say that. This guy just said you guys are going to see Trump is on the flight logs, and we will still be here. Yeah, the FBI confirmed they sent him multiple. Wait, what? You think Trump was... They've debunked the idea that he was any kind of informant.
Call from Mason.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
I used to be, but I am no longer. I actually called you last night, brother.
Okay. I'll give you a second to give your take, but I'm mostly looking for Trump supporters. What's up?
No, I understand. I just wanted to say I think that Jeff Epstein is like the P. Diddy of the, I guess you could say the Epstein file scenario world. I really truly believe that this involves actors too. Like you were just speaking a minute ago, who we think that may be involved. I think there's more than just politicians. I believe that there's actors and actresses that absolutely might be associated.
There's all sorts of powerful people involved. I would nothing. Let me tell you something. Nothing will shock me. There isn't a name you could bring up that will shock me. Now I can use what I know politically. Like Biden, in 5 decades in politics, never had any association with Epstein. He was never accused of having any association. That might shock me, but that's not going to happen because there was no association. I think we have a pretty good idea of the names that are going to be on there. I think there'll be a few surprises, though. But thanks for calling, dude. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother. Have a good night.
Call from
Raj.
Yeah, you're not calling in. I don't know what that is. Listen, when you call in, don't be like, David, hello, what's your favorite scary movie? I'm calling in to debate politics. What door am I at? Try and be less creepy when you call in. I might accept it. Biden spent 5 decades in politics. There was never and here's the thing. Fox News, networks like that, a lot of these people, like, they just watch what, like, Fox News is not going to tell the truth on this particular issue. Remember when Fox News published a photograph of Kamala Harris on the plane, and it was a photographed picture?
Call from
David.
Yeah, you speak. Okay. What's up, Nacho? This guy says, we've had the Epstein file since 2009. We're talking about emails that occurred after 2009, LP. Get with the picture here. Nice try, though. We're talking about emails that occurred in 2011, 2015, and 2018. So you're way behind. Fox didn't even cover this today, of course. Yeah, so Photoshopped. Yeah, so back to what I was saying before the guy interrupted me. Do you guys remember when Fox News posted that photographed picture of Kamala Harris on the plane with Epstein? And they didn't even apologize for it. They are desperate to deflect. And listen, the truth is, and I think a lot of people need to realize this, Donald Trump will have a tremendous amount of support regardless of what comes out. And people need to get used to that. That's going to happen. You're going to a lot of people are not going to give a shit. That's why it's important for the real patriots to stand up and drive this point home. You can't be a patriot and support what you're seeing here. You can't. So now the question is, now that we see these emails and they contradict her testimony, why is she still a violent sex offender in a minimum security prison? Why is she in Camp Bryan, Texas, now that we know these emails from 2011, when there was no incentive to lie, contradict her testimony, which she shouldn't have even been given? She was only talking to Todd Blanche because she was about to speak in front of the Oversight Committee.
Call from
Juan.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
I'm just a young American.
Arrest 80% of Congress? All I'm going to say is this. I wouldn't expect anything drastic to happen until after the midterms. And by the way, this is the surface. I'm going to repeat this again now that more people are joining. Epstein wrote in a 2011 email to Ghislaine Maxwell indicating Trump spent hours at Epstein's house with a victim whose name was redacted. Epstein emphasized that this victim has never once been mentioned in connection with Trump, implying secrecy. Implying secrecy. This is a conspiracy now. And this is the statement that technically debunks her testimony about never witnessing him in a private setting. Why would Epstein be talking to her in 2011 about him in a private setting at Epstein's house with a victim? In 2011, an email recounts... Let me just finish what I'm doing here before I take another call. In 2011, an email recounts a victim's claim that she worked for Trump at Mar-a-Lago while underage. In a 2019 message to author Michael Wolff, Epstein directly asserted that, of course, Trump knew about the girls. As he was asking Ghislaine, stop suggesting Trump was aware of underage girls in Epstein's social and business circles. Of course he was aware. Please stop saying that. A December 2015 email exchange between Epstein and Michael Wolff discusses potential strategies for Trump to respond to the media regarding his ties to Epstein, specifically suggesting a denial could be useful for both men in terms of their public image. We have stuff with Steve Bannon here that proves he was aware of these connections. As a 2019 exchange shows, Bannon's surprised that Epstein had not yet been seen as the connective tissue linking Mar-a-Lago, Trump, and a victim and an accuser. Maxwell's favorable treatment, obviously, to Deputy Attorney Todd Blanche and that testimony, quid pro quo, we know now was not true. She got a great deal, and they still have not come out and told us why that deal happened, what that deal consisted of. It's all private. So at the very least, I want to see Ghislaine Maxwell back in a at least a medium security prison. Get her out of a prison where people are committing tax crimes and put her back where violent sex offenders are. I don't know what you're talking about, Jonathan. Let's also talk about Bubba. Let's talk about Bubba. I don't know if you guys heard about this today. Okay. So they also talked about between Epstein and his brother were emailing and discussing whether or not Putin has a picture of Trump blowing Bubba. Who's Bubba? Bill Clinton? That to me is insane. Now, I don't know if I can even believe that. What is that? Maybe Bubba's someone else. I don't know. This person said Clinton was never mentioned in the emails, too. He was absolutely mentioned in the emails. Now, maybe they're talking about something else. I don't know. But regardless, kind of a weird statement in the email. Yes, it was between Epstein and his brother. I am not convinced me to condone the fact that Donald Trump, by the way, has admitted this. That he was aware that Epstein was recruiting young girls from Mar-a-Lago, and he gave him a warning, according to Trump. I don't think he even gave him a warning. I think he just let him do whatever. And then, of course, it resulted in a young girl being sexually harassed whose father was a member at Mar-a-Lago, and that's what they say led to the ban. But we don't know if that's true. What we know is that Trump was aware that the poaching in their terms was happening, right, and did nothing about it. That we know for sure. And he by himself has admitted that he gave him a warning. Let me ask you a question. If you knew that someone was a creep like this and engaged in this type of behavior, would you guys let them frequent your establishment? Let's say at the very least, Trump was just aware that this guy was doing this. Is that not enough for you? It's much more. I mean, I'm sure it's much more. I mean, I would imagine we're going to get much more to come out later. But at this point, is that not enough for you that he was aware of it? Does that not bother you? Al here says, you know for sure because you worked there and saw all of us. So, Al, let me ask you a question. You have to be present for a crime in order to condemn it? Is that your statement? Penn State let it happen for years. Yeah, and Joe Paterno should have dealt with those consequences more severely and didn't. Should have been more people prosecuted in that case, too, for sure. Why do you think Paterno got so much heat? Because he turned a blind eye. In my opinion, he should have been criminally prosecuted, too. Do you guys notice a little bit of a difference? Some humbling has happened here. All right, you can call in now. Let's hear some. If you have an honest take on this, if you still support Trump after reading these emails, you're welcome to call in. Tell me why you still support Trump. Tell me why this is not enough for you. Tell me why you don't think that that level of corruption involving the Deputy Attorney General after the Oversight Committee was going to subpoena her testimony is not concerning to you. Why would he be so resistant to this being made public? Hazi, listen, it's because I'm not a pedo. That's the difference. It's shocking to you because you don't care. You're okay with that kind of shit. Your willingness to condone this is super concerning. Yeah, I'm not afraid of anything. You can call in right now. If you actually want to be serious and debate, call in. If you want to be a little troll, I'm not going to tolerate your bullshit. Call in right now and be serious and debate. Why do you guys think Donald Trump and the White House are trying to pressure Lauren Boebert on the House vote to release the Epstein files? Why do you think they had a meeting in the Situation Room at the White House just before the petition received enough signatures to trigger a vote? Tried to convince Boebert to remove her name from the petition. Why? Ollivander, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Appreciate you. I wonder what Fox is saying. Nothing worth anything. Listen, it's a somber night for Republicans. It really is.
Call from
That.
Why are you acting like a little kid and then saying I'm scared to debate? Yeah, you're not cool, dude. Like, you don't want to debate. How do you call in? Well, you pick up your phone and call this number, 908-652-3703. That's how you call in. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Pick up the phone and dial 908-652-3703. Let's try and get a poll going. Can we get a poll going in here on this? Let's get a poll.
call from
Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes.
Okay, and what do you think about these emails? Does it bother you at all?
I'm sorry, you kind of wasn't able to hear. Can you repeat your question?
I said, did you read these emails, and does it bother you at all?
No, I didn't read the emails.
Okay, so if you didn't read the emails, then we're going to have a tough time having a conversation. Would you like me to would you like me to go over them?
Yes.
Okay, well, you know what? I've decided, why don't you go read them and call back? I don't want to repeat myself again. All right, let's see if we could get another person to call in right now. This guy says, pick up the phone, pretty boy. Oh, God. This guy's going to call in and yell. What are you going to do, call in and yell? Guys, make sure you vote in the poll. Should Trump be impeached? Should Trump be impeached?
Call from
Max.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Let's go. I am.
Okay. Did you read the emails?
No, but we can talk about the topic broadly.
You can't unless you read them, right? Like you would have to go read them. How can you talk about the topic if you didn't read? Like, do you know anything?
Well, sure, I got a little bit of context, but from what I saw, that he was kind of just of an informant. Based on the emails, from what I read or from what I heard, was that he essentially was telling Giselle to lay off the girl and stop trying to pull her from Mar-a-Lago.
That is not at all what the email said. You didn't read them.
I did read them.
No, you didn't.
What did you read them?
Okay, so I guess I'll start, since you definitely 100% did not read them. Then that's a fact.
Fill me in.
So in a 2011 email, there's nothing about an informant. That's a Republican narrative that's been perpetuated and long debunked. There was an April 2011 email to Ghislaine Maxwell from Epstein indicating Trump spent hours at Epstein's house with a victim. Epstein emphasized that this victim has never once been mentioned in connection with Trump publicly, and they're discussing it privately. So that implies there's secrecy. That's a conspiracy. In 2011, there's another email, right, where it recounts a victim's claim that she worked for Trump at Mar-a-Lago while she was underage. In 2019, there's a message to author Michael Wolff,
right, but
where Epstein directly, there's no way.
Because she was underage at the time doesn't mean she was doing anything
There's
wrong.
no way that you're fucking interrupting me when you just asked me to read over the emails. There's no way. There's no way that you're.
Well, you're trying to put in direct conclusions.
You can address it after. Let me finish. Like, are you house trained? In January 2019, in a message to author Michael Wolff, Epstein directly asserted that, of course, and I quote, Trump knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop suggesting publicly Trump was aware of underage girls in Epstein's social and business circles.
Let me ask you something. If he did know at the time, what was he supposed to do with Obama being the president and the FBI director being in cahoots with Epstein's clientele at the time as well? And Trump has no leverage to do anything against him because he has so much cahoots.
Say that again?
Let's say in 2008 Trump knows. Let's say in 2008 to 2011 Trump knows that Epstein is a pedophile that has a sex ring. What exactly can he do besides go to the FBI that's ran by Obama and the other people? What is he supposed to do? He can be an informant. He can tell.
Wait, so first of all, he wasn't even in elected politics. Why would he be scared to go to the FBI? So that's number one. Number two,
because of how connected Epstein was.
Can I finish?
When his first indictment came out, he literally had the.
Can I finish speaking? Thank you. So what he could do was not let Epstein frequent his Mar-a-Lago estate. In the emails, when they're talking about knew about the girls, they're talking about the fact that he was aware that Epstein was trafficking what they refer to as poaching young girls from Mar-a-Lago. Trump allowed that to happen.
So what do you do? You're in Trump's shoes. What do you do?
I tell him, get the fuck off my property right now, which he claims he eventually did. Anyway, so clearly he wasn't scared.
Did he distance himself long before that?
No, he didn't distance himself. He allowed him to be on Mar-a-Lago property. He allowed him to recruit what they call poaching young girls, young women from Mar-a-Lago, right? And then eventually, according to them, the story is that Epstein started sexually harassing a young girl whose father was a member of Mar-a-Lago. And that's supposedly when the ban occurred. But the point is, and this is according to Trump.
Right. How about
Trump says he gave him a warning. If you knew that someone was engaged in that type of behavior, would you give them a warning?
No, I'd probably try to shoot them. But in any case, let's expand the narrative. How many people do you think actually were involved in Epstein's? I'm talking big people. How many people were really involved in that? How many beneficiaries were there that were getting children trafficked? Let's just directly.
Well, let me answer this kind of with a question. According to the FBI, none. The FBI says the only proof they have is that no. Kash Patel testified under oath. The only evidence they have.
No,
is that
I'm saying that's bogus.
Right.
There were definitely
agreed.
people.
So then I ask you further: why are they all now making this claim when they all claimed prior to Pam Bondi telling Trump that he was in the Epstein files, that there was all this information, that there was a Rolodex of names, and now they all claim there wasn't? Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, the director and deputy director of the FBI, built careers on social media claiming that there was more, that there was an Epstein.
I know that the campaign.
Right. So to then get elected.
If I'm honest with you, I completely would support the complete release of all the files. I don't want any of the secrecy in this story just because of how heinous it is. So I'm 99% sided with you. It's just that you're placing me on the devil's advocate. But I'm trying to defend this stance. Well, it's pretty difficult to defend this stance. I mean, ethically, I think that all the files should be released, and all of them should be trialed.
If you're getting that, if you're having that feeling, right, then it's because you probably shouldn't be supporting him. Listen, the devil doesn't need an advocate. I don't need you to play devil's advocate because the devil doesn't need an advocate, and that's what we're talking about. Dan Bongino met with
justify any kind of support. But
you remember? Hold on. Let me explain this. Hold on.
There's the extreme side of things, and then there's the
guy. Hold on a second.
Somewhere in the middle.
Guy, hold on a second. Right. Let me tell you how serious this is. You know Dan Bongino. Do you remember when the reports where he walked out? He was so furious over this, and then he sat down with the chief of staff, and he sat down with Patel. And he sat down with Bondi, and suddenly, where did he go? He's just completely vanished. Nobody hears about him in regards to this anymore.
Let me give you a gold mine piece of information. I'm going to give you a gold piece of information, okay? And this is actually going to completely support your story. Have you ever read the book By Way of Deception by Viktor Ostrovsky?
No.
So Viktor Ostrovsky was this Mossad agent in the 1980s that eventually defected. And in his book that he released in the 1990s, is a bestseller, he talks about how there was they're called katsas, which are basically just another way for saying spy within the whatever it is. But that's how the Mossad names their spies. They're called katsas, especially if they're like really important ones.
Right.
And there were a few of them stationed in New York City and in Washington. And Viktor Ostrovsky, in his book, says that one of the katsas in Washington was running not a sex trafficking operation, but what do you call it when they're over 18? And it's a escort business. It's essentially an escort, potentially alluding that Epstein was the agent in the 1990s in Washington, D.C. and New York City that was running the escorts.
Well, it's not alluding to that because he wasn't mentioned. There's God knows how many businesses like that exist. That doesn't have to be about him. But this isn't an escort situation anyway. This is an underage.
No, but it definitely could lead to something more heinous.
I know, but this is
you can
escort. It's not an escort business, though.
Okay, but it could have started out as an escort, and then he becomes this depraved weirdo, and it starts venturing into children in the 1990s, and then lo and behold, the early 2000s, we have the whole case.
Here's the thing. Nothing's impossible. I'm not going to dismiss this idea. I do think it's very suspicious that I think everything about Epstein is suspicious. How he obtained his wealth is really vague. Everything about his life is super weird. His relationships, how they develop.
He was a Mossad agent. How is that weird to figure out?
I don't have the proof for that. I don't. But nothing would surprise me. But here's the
You don't
point.
need the proof. You can use context clues.
Okay, and are you using context clues when I explain the things I'm
I
explaining?
am
to
using
condemn
context clues. What does he get $536 million, and how is he leveraging all this
Listen,
support from these wealthy,
What I'm saying is, are you
people?
using context clues to condemn Donald Trump? When we're talking about emails that are way before he was in elected politics, therefore they would have no reason to lie. They don't know these are ever going to come out. It's just conversations between each other long before Trump's ever president. And they're saying things that contradict the testimony of Ghislaine Maxwell. Listen,
all these files
listen
should
to
be
me.
released,
Listen to
unredact
me.
everything.
Listen to me. This stuff, well, we got to be, again, unredact everything. Again, that's a different conversation. The point is, why do you send your deputy attorney general? This is a guy who's president of the United States. All of that aside, sent his deputy attorney general to go sit down with Ghislaine Maxwell to secure her story before she testified in front of the officer. But again, that's fucking high-level corruption in our government covering child abuse. That can't be condoned. That can't be condoned.
All right, so then where are all these men that were supposed to go and uplift the government in Washington, D.C. from this horrible act? Where is everybody?
Let's start.
Where's the outrage?
Oh, by the way, why won't the FBI? Also, here's another thing that's weird. The FBI won't even talk to the survivors. They have volunteered to testify under oath. So you'll send your deputy attorney general to go sit down with Ghislaine Maxwell, but you won't sit down with the survivors? Like, we always talk about empowering victims, right?
Well, the thing with the FBI is that they don't bring a case forward.
Think about how disrespectful it is to ignore the survivors and go interview the violent sex offender to get the information on whether or not Trump is involved criminally.
Because they can't build a case. It's difficult to build a case.
No, the
FBI doesn't bring any kind of indictment or case forward unless it's 99% proof.
That's irrelevant.
That's a common thing within the FBI. That's why racketeering cases with big criminals take so long. Unless they have undeniable proof, 99% the case is solidified, they're not going to bring a case against anybody.
I'm aware of this.
And most of these people that would be implicated would be very rich and powerful. They could lawyer up like crazy, and then winning the case would be really, really difficult.
Yeah, I'm aware of all this information, but it doesn't pertain to what I just said.
There's a whole legal system that they're going to go through.
All right.
So it's not that easy.
Well, thanks for calling, dude. Appreciate it. Take care.
Okay.
That doesn't really pertain to what I said, but the point is, okay, the point that you're not understanding is everything aside, what the motive was initially, what eventually led to this. Those are separate pieces of information that are not related to what I'm talking about. The president of the United States, who's in power right now, is using his authority to cover up potentially the biggest criminal child abuse scandal we've ever seen. His deputy attorney general is his personal attorney, people. Now we know because of those emails that predate his time in elected politics that she lied. She was rewarded. She was rewarded for what she said to Blanche. Quid pro quo. If you tell me Trump was not involved in this criminally, we will move you to a minimum security prison. Why aren't the American people demanding that we know what that deal was about? Why aren't Trump supporters saying, that's outrageous? I made a video on it. It popped off on Instagram, and I think it did decent on TikTok too. Calling this out immediately as a conspiracy to cover it up. I didn't even really see people connecting the fact that it's his personal attorney. Of course he's going to be loyal. I mean, I don't know, man. How does that not piss you off? Charles, no one is shutting up. You're typing in capital letters on your big iPad, right, at night before you take your Tylenol PMs. You're spamming in capital letters on your big ass iPad before you take your Tylenol PMs and go to bed. Guys, if you're a true patriot, what I beg of you is to let this support of Trump go. Let's take our country back. We can disagree on policies and stuff later on. Let's take our country back. Wake up. Any truly innocent person would release the documents to prove they are innocent. Not only that, Ken, they wouldn't even talk about they wouldn't even worry about proving their innocence because they're not in them. They would just release them because they want people held accountable. The motive would be to get these scumbags that are in our government who engage in this criminal behavior the fuck away from our government. Here's the second part outside of Trump. How many of these dirtbag politicians are in there? How many of these dirtbag politicians that fuck the American people over on a daily basis are in those files beyond Trump? How many crusty old people in Congress are in there? A lot. And I don't know that we'll ever truly get all of them. Charles, you spelled "your" wrong. You're looking for apostrophe R-E. You are. Right? It's a contraction of two separate words. It's a contraction of two separate words. All right, let's take another call here. If you're a Trump supporter and you're reading these emails, what's your take? What's your take today? Yeah, I've gone over it multiple times. There's a number of things the emails said, specifically stuff about Trump knew about the girls. They talked about Trump spending hours at Epstein's house with a key victim in the case, but also noting that Trump's name has never been mentioned in connection to any wrongdoing publicly, which that's a conspiracy, right? You're implying that there's secrecy there. And then when you include the fact that there's a conversation about how they should defend this publicly, both Epstein and Trump, and how it would be useful to both men for their public images. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes.
Okay. What's your first name?
First name John.
Okay, John. Have I spoken to you before, John?
Yes, you told me to go read the files, then call back.
No, the emails, not the files. Yes, what are your thoughts? Go ahead.
Yes. Well, I think that regardless of his actions with Epstein, I don't think that Trump is a bad president.
Okay. So what you're telling me is even if he did do these things, you still think he's a good president and therefore that shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you're seriously trying to sell me right now that even if he's guilty, that it doesn't matter because you think he's a good president.
I'm not saying he shouldn't be punished, but I don't think he should be impeached.
Well, how should he be punished?
Well, after his presidency is over, he can be sent to jail.
So first of all, technically, depending on what the case is, but so you think he should serve his he should serve the rest of his 3+ remaining years, as we know that he's even if you're kidding.
What's wrong with that?
You would be okay with a proven PDF file being president of the United States?
Well, think about all the good things he's done for this country.
Are you serious, dude? Are you seriously trying to tell me that even if he's a PDF, he's done enough good things for the country that he should remain in power? What if it were your children?
Yes.
What if it were your children? Would you feel the same way?
Let's not make this personal.
No, it is personal to me. I don't care whose children it is. That's the point. If it was your children, would you think, oh, well, let's let him serve out his term and then we'll think about prosecuting him?
No, but this is not just about me.
I'm asking you a question. You're basically saying it's
Yeah.
more important that he finishes out his term. That's deeply disturbing, my guy.
So you want him to be removed from office?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely, I think he needs to be
Because
impeached.
Just for the Epstein?
And if they refuse to
file?
impeach him, I think they should get rid of the entire administration.
That's much.
Why? What if they're covering it up? What if they protect him? What if we've only seen, 20-something thousand of these emails? There's so much more to come. What if it comes out and there's no more denying and there's straight proof of this? Because at this point, I don't know the extent. I know that he was aware of it. I know that he knew what was going on, and I know that he lied publicly about it. I know those things for sure. I know that he facilitated this in a way. What if it comes out, and it can't be denied, that he directly participated in it? Would you still have that feeling that he should finish his term?
Okay. Yes. Do you want to know why?
Oh, my God. Go ahead.
Let me tell you why. Since Trump came into office, the number of illegals in this country has drastically decreased. He's doing a lot of good for this country.
Oh, my God. Could you tell on
What?
yourself anymore?
What?
Because
What
of
do you
the
mean?
number of illegals, when we're talking about potential involvement in the largest, or at least most infamous, PDF ring ever to exist?
Look, man, he's
What are
all the people that are not
undocumented? What are
supposed to
undocumented? I just have to ask you. I didn't even really want to go here. What are undocumented immigrants doing that's worse than this?
Look, man, when undocumented immigrants come to this country, they take away all the jobs. They hurt the economy.
No, they don't.
They
No, they don't. What study are you citing that they take away all the jobs? We've actually seen the opposite. Mass deportation actually results in labor shortage because American citizens refuse. Excuse me. Mass deportation results in labor shortage. American citizens don't automatically fill these jobs in these specific sectors because they're low-paying, physically demanding jobs without the presence of undocumented immigrants. They're low-skill, low-education workers. That's who they compete with primarily. So, no, you're incorrect. Can you cite a study that you're referring to?
It's temporary labor shortage. These
No, it's not.
shortages are eventually going to
No, it's not. What study are you
they're
citing?
eventually going to get filled.
That's not true. What makes you believe that?
Look, man.
No, don't tell
right
me,
now,
look,
say you
man,
wanna
again.
get-
I can't believe that you would say this is not, that this guy should finish out his term because he's getting rid of undocumented immigrants, in your words, illegal.
That's
Are
the
you a
correct
father?
term. They're illegal.
Are you a father?
No, I'm not.
Do you plan on becoming one day?
Probably.
Do yourself a favor and refrain. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my God. Your hatred for undocumented immigrants outweighs this. You don't even understand what, you can't even list me an actual realistic consequence of undocumented immigration. Holy fuck, dude. 210 Rain Christopher, thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate you, 210 Rain Christopher. I know I can't set a goal tonight. That's why I just have to rely on it. I would appreciate you guys sending a super chat and stuff, but I can't do a goal tonight. Carly, thank you for the $4.99, Carly. Appreciate you. Horrifying is right. Charcity, thank you so much. Thanks for taking out the trash, Adam. Thank you, Charcity. That was disturbing. I didn't say please refrain, Lee. I just said refrain, I think. He definitely needs to refrain. I mean, that's just, I don't even know. That call was crazy, dude. That call, that's bothersome. Look, man. He's getting rid of the illegals. Jonathan here says, love to see Adam make that statement to families about children losing their lives to immigrants. They would straight out hands on you, Adam. Jonathan, go look up the rate of crime in comparison to American-born citizens of undocumented immigrants per capita. You're going to find out undocumented immigrants don't commit much violent crime. So you can take these high-profile incidents and you can tokenize them, but the families have asked you not to do that. Because you're just using individual incidents to demonize an entire population of people. I don't think belonging to MAGA, you want to set that as the precedent. Glitter Goddess, thank you for the $5 super chat. As always, you're appreciated, Adam. Thank you so much, Glitter Goddess. I appreciate you. I'm tired today. I'm exhausted today. I just pushing through the best that I can. Lewis, are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, I triple voted Trump.
You're not old enough to triple vote Trump. So that's number one. Yeah. Goodbye. Owned in less than 15 seconds. He hung up, by the way. I didn't hang up on him. He hung up. Triple voted Trump. Fuck out of here. You're like 20, if that. Between that and the guy last night saying he wanted to see video evidence and the guy who asked him, I didn't see that. But that's pretty bad. I definitely need to see that. I didn't see that.
Call from
that happened.
Steven Johnson.
Steven Johnson, what's going on?
Oh, everything's fine. How are you today?
No, not great. Have you ever spoken to me before?
No, I haven't. I mean,
okay, perfect.
Not personally.
Not personally? I don't think we talked not personally?
We have, but in a good tone.
Oh, okay. Where have we talked? On TikTok?
Well, aren't you going to ask your usual questions?
No, I want you to respond to the background. Why would you support Trump after the Epstein emails?
Because I don't think Trump actually knew about what was going on.
Okay.
So, yes, I am a Trump supporter, and I am above 21, so you forgot to ask me my age there.
Oh, I can tell. That's why I didn't ask you. I'm pretty good at that. So let me read something to you. You said you don't think he knew. Let's start with emails from Epstein to Michael Wolff and Ghislaine Maxwell. Emails suggest that Trump had knowledge of Trump's activities involving underage girls. In 2019.
So Trump had knowledge of Trump's activities of underage girls. Is that what you just said?
Yes, let me finish. In 2019, Epstein wrote to Michael Wolff specifically. Epstein wrote this email to Michael Wolff. Trump knew about the girls and that Trump asked Ghislaine to stop.
Can you prove this email?
It's in the emails, yes.
Can you prove this email? Like, do you have physical proof?
Yes, it's on the. You can Google it right now and go to the Oversight Committee website. And
do you have physical proof?
Yes, though? I read them. You can go read them. Listen, dude, if you don't know this, you can just look it up in 2 seconds. This is why I said if you didn't read the emails, this isn't the live for you today. He asked Ghislaine to stop, indicating awareness of the trafficking operation. Let me be clear also, outside of the emails, Donald Trump admitted that he gave Epstein a warning at Mar-a-Lago. Kind of matches up. Okay? Secondly, Epstein described Trump spending hours at his house with Virginia. I'm sure you've heard that name before. Listen, if you're going to giggle while we're talking about trafficking young kids,
Hey, you
I'm
asked me to shut up. I've shut up. I stopped
if
talking.
you're going to giggle while I'm talking about
You
trafficking
could just
children,
keep talking.
if you're not going to shut up and be serious when I'm talking about trafficking children, I'm going to kick you. This is not a joke to me.
Apparently, it kind of is.
So it's not at all a joke. So in this
Well, you're kind of making it like a joke.
Okay, you can think that all you want. Stop giggling. I'm going to tell you one more time. Another 2011.
I'm not giggling.
Another 2011 email recounts a victim's claim that she worked for Trump at Mar-a-Lago while underage.
I paid you again, and you're a coward libtard, you fucking retard.
What? Nice crash out. They always crash out, dude. They always crash out. But I'm going to finish reading it. In 2019, right, in a message to author Michael Wolff, Epstein directly asserted that, of course, Trump knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop suggesting Trump. He says he asked Ghislaine to stop because he wanted her to stop suggesting Trump was aware of the underage girls in Epstein's social and business circles. In 2015, in an email exchange between Epstein and Michael Wolff, they discussed potential strategies for Trump to respond to the media regarding his ties to Epstein. Why would they be having that conversation? Specifically suggesting that if they both deny it, it could be useful for their public images. There's evidence that the architect of MAGA, Steve Bannon, was aware of all of this. In the 2019 exchange, Bannon's surprised that Epstein had not yet been seen as the connective tissue linking Mar-a-Lago, Trump, and an accuser. And then we have the contradicting statements that Ghislaine Maxwell made to Todd Blanche, right, after he sent Todd Blanche, his deputy attorney general, to go secure that story, right, as she was about to give testimony in front of the Oversight Committee. This is very damning information. Later in the day, we got the stuff about Epstein and his brother emailing back and forth, indicating Putin may have pictures of Trump blowing Bubba. I don't know if they're being sarcastic. I thought this was fake at first. I thought someone was trolling, right? In the sense, I say fake, I mean I thought someone was trolling with something on Twitter. It's a real email. A real email saying, does Putin have pictures of Trump blowing Bubba? Now, someone referred, we don't know who Bubba is, but we know they called Bill Clinton Bubba. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if they were being sarcastic. I don't know if they were like joke. Who knows? But that's in there as well. And I think we've all thought that Putin might have something over Trump. Who knows about that? That's not really that significant to me. The stuff that's significant to me is that Ghislaine Maxwell's testimony to Todd Blanche, right, about Trump never engaged in any inappropriate behavior and never, ever in a private setting is completely bullshit and thrown out the window. Completely thrown out the window. So that's the biggest thing for me. So for me right now, I need Ghislaine Maxwell in a maximum security prison, or at least where she was before, because she just lied to receive favorable treatment quid pro quo. So get her out of that fucking minimum security prison now. She lied. Because you're not going to tell me she didn't lie, because the emails are from 2011. There's no incentive to lie in 2011. No incentive to lie whatsoever. Phone line is back open. Yeah, Amislaw, how you doing? I'm live pretty much every night. Pretty much every night. I'm so mad I can't set a gifting goal tonight. There's something glitched and it won't let me.
Call from
Dylan.
Dylan, didn't you already call in?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
When did you call in, Dylan?
When did I call in?
Yeah, I've already spoken
Oh,
to
you
you.
mean in the past? Yeah, yesterday.
Okay, do you support Trump or no?
I do, but I just want to say
Your phone line's fucked
pedophilia
up.
is much worse than illegal. It's worse than illegal with you there. The
Yeah,
other guy was nuts.
That guy was out of his fucking tree. But go ahead.
Well, he gives Trump supporters a bad name. I'm a Trump supporter. I don't feel any way like that guy did.
Well,
pedophilia is 10 times worse than some illegals coming across the border.
there are people that
I
are
agree with you
indoctrinated like that in MAGA,
But I'm
dude.
still Trump.
You know?
That's why I wasn't even sure if that guy was for real.
Oh, he's dead serious. I talk to guys like
thought
that
maybe
all
you
the
paid
time.
him to call in.
No. I talk to guys like that all the time, man. All the time. If you don't want, do you watch me on, have you ever seen me on TikTok?
No, I don't have
Oh,
TikTok.
On TikTok, people who watch me on TikTok can back me up here. I talk to guys 20 times worse than that on TikTok all the time. Dead serious. So, but go ahead. What's your take on the
that's
emails?
Scary. Is there only 3 emails?
No, I think there's more than that. Now that was that was originally. But go ahead.
But they came out like in 2011. I guess it's like.
Oh, they didn't come
when
out in
are
2011. They came
why
out
were
yesterday
They just
or today, whenever that was. Was
No,
that
I
yesterday?
mean,
or
they were
today?
originally written in 2019 or.
No. They're from all over. Remember,
they came out yesterday.
No, they're from all over. They're from 2011. They're from 2018, 2015. They're from all different years. This was a part of the Epstein estate. So the oversight committee, right? You understand, like the oversight committee has subpoena power, right? As a congressional committee, they subpoenaed the Epstein estate, right? And they were able to obtain these emails.
Right.
So you have 2011, 2019, 2015, all sorts of shit, all different years.
Yeah. Okay. Well, after the Russia collusion and all the other, because what I've noticed is like when left wingers have conspiracy theories, they usually turn out to be debunked. But when right wingers have conspiracy theories, they usually come out to be true. Like the COVID coming from a lab is just one example. I mean,
okay.
that's the
So
pattern I
first
see.
of all,
So I'm not really.
This statement that most conspiracies, right wingers, I don't know. Have you ever heard of QAnon? I mean, they were dedicated to a conspiracy, and it literally fell apart.
Was that like 15 or 10 years ago or 8 years ago?
But the point
I
is,
can't remember. It was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the point is,
You guys got a lot of mileage out of those guys, that's for sure.
well, I mean, they were loud. I mean,
Well, good for you, yeah. I mean, we would do the same thing on our side.
Well, here's the point,
But you
right?
have the left-wing mainstream media on your side, so every battle that we have is a huge battle.
Well, I have to disagree with you there, only because CNN leans more right now than they do left. Fox News is right, and MSNBC. I mean, the morning hosts went and kissed Trump's ring the minute he got elected. So I don't know that the left, the mainstream media aligns with me at all. I think that I don't align with them.
NPR, ABC.
I'm farther left than most of these networks. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is this: to say that right wingers don't have conspiracy theories and that more left wing conspiracies don't come true than right wing conspiracies, that's just completely baseless. Let me say this
I've
though.
got plenty of examples.
Here we can listen. We'll end up just arguing conspiracies back and forth. Let me just say my point here. This can't be a conspiracy because it's subpoenaed by law from the oversight committee, from the executors of the estate. There's no opportunity. It's not a conspiracy.
Oh, I never made that argument. That was the caller before me. I think those emails are real.
Okay, so why are we bringing up conspiracies then?
Because I think this is going to turn out to be just like Russia, a big nothing burger.
But
So,
what do you mean? I'm showing you right
because,
now.
Look, why wouldn't they have thrown this at him when he was almost getting ready to win the presidency for the second time? They did everything they possibly could even think of to stop this guy, and you're telling me that the deep state just said, we'll let him slide on this pedophilia. The only way that could happen, and this may be a possibility, is if there's just too many Democrats. Bill Richardson used to be the governor of New Mexico. You know, he died in shame. He was wrapped up in all that pedophilia and all that stuff. There's a bunch of them. So if the only reason Trump is being protected is just because there's so many Democrats that are involved, then we got a bigger problem than this guy who's our president right now. I would be disgusted. He will definitely lose my support if it turns out that he was a diddler. But I don't think he is. So for you to start that argument with everyone who supports Trump that, oh, you're okay with pedophilia. No, we just don't believe he's a pedophile. Convince us of that first. And these emails just don't do it for me. They just really don't.
So first of all, let's, again, there's a couple things here, but do these files at least convince you that he was aware of it?
The timelines, yeah, he was aware of it at one point because he's even come out and said, I became aware of the...
Correct.
So when's the timeline of when he became aware? Also, you keep using this word poaching as if Donald Trump has some sort of shady spa going where these young girls are doing, sexual favors for men and getting paid tens of thousands of dollars. That's not beyond the realm of possibility.
Let me explain something.
So I want to see proof before I...
Well, he's aware of the girls is enough proof for me. Maybe it's not enough proof for you, but there's two things that I think stand out to me the most here.
Wasn't a father one of the people who made him aware? Was a father stepped in?
That's according to Trump. But let me go a step further here. When he was first made aware, according to him, by the way, this isn't an accusation made against him. This is an accusation he confirms is true. That he was made aware that Epstein was trying to recruit or poach young women and young girls from Mar-a-Lago. He said he gave him a warning. So that's the first problem I have. And I've had this problem for a while. Now it's confirmed, and I think it's far more than just a warning. I think this went on for a long time, and he never stopped it until maybe this thing with the young girl happened. Hold on, let me explain something. The reason that young girl was sexually harassed by Epstein was because Trump didn't kick him out when he immediately became aware of the fact that he was trying to recruit young girls from Mar-a-Lago.
You don't know that.
Yes, we do
know that.
Trump said it.
No, you know that people have painted. Nope.
You're wrong. Trump admitted publicly.
You've got a whole IMAX movie in your brain.
You're missing something. Trump admitted publicly he gave a warning. He said, I warned him. Do you warn someone that you think is aware that if you're aware of someone doing this, do you warn them or kick them out immediately? Would you let someone frequent your establishment who you think is attempting to recruit young women and you know he's a creep at this point? That can't be disputed. Do you give him a warning or do you ban him immediately and say, don't ever come in my establishment again? He claims he did that, but not the first time. And that's a problem I have. The second big part of this is Ghislaine Maxwell's testimony to Todd Blanche. First of all, completely suspicious why his personal attorney, you understand the deputy attorney general's Trump's personal attorney, right, would go sit down with Ghislaine Maxwell as she's about to get subpoenaed for her testimony in front of the Oversight Committee. Now we know that testimony is not true. You're not going to convince. You're not going to convince me. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. You're not going to convince me. In 2011, before he's even in elected politics, they're lying to each other in email. So in 2025, when he's dead and they subpoena the estate, they can make him look bad. They're saying that back then in 2011. When he's not even in elected politics, that Trump spent hours at Epstein's house with the victim, and then
You're
also
arguing with someone else.
And then talked about
the same thing
he
earlier.
has never once been mentioned in connection publicly with this victim, which implies secrecy, right, about the encounters. They're talking privately about it and saying, and then acknowledging this has never been mentioned publicly. This may not be enough for you, but that speaks more about you than it does me.
No.
Yes, it does.
I don't accept your premise. You're setting up this scenario and expecting me to go along with it. I don't. So Trump sent his personal attorney, who you tell me, is he now the Deputy Attorney General?
Correct.
Or he was at the time?
No,
he
he's
is
the
now.
Deputy Attorney General of the United States.
And at the time, he was Trump's personal attorney.
No, he was the Deputy Attorney General. But Trump had just...
Trump sent him over.
Again, follow along here. Trump goes to trial for the hush money case and gets indicted 4 times. His attorney is high-profile attorney Todd Blanche. Okay? He's really close to Trump. He's so involved with Trump. I mean, I remember he spoke on television and said Trump is so involved in these cases, he wants to litigate them himself. They had a pretty close relationship during these criminal cases, the United States. When all of this stuff starts coming out, right, in April and May, it starts getting hot about this Epstein stuff. Pam Bondi goes to Trump and informs him he's in the files. Trump starts acting differently. He starts saying, hey, listen, we need to stop talking about this. This guy's dead. He goes as far as to say this is another Democrat hoax, and then says we're not talking about Epstein anymore. In fact, we heard that he gave instructions to people in the administration to refuse to don't answer questions about this. Right, Caroline
about Trump.
Basically don't answer questions. So they basically
that's the behavior of an innocent person.
Hold
by
on.
the way,
They said
that's
stop.
the way an innocent person would behave.
Stop
just so
answering
you know.
questions. No. Stop answering questions about your association with the world's most infamous pedophile. It's not how an innocent person behaves. An innocent person is transparent. So you have that ass backwards. But anyway, the point is he tells everybody to stop talking about it, right? And then the oversight committee's like, okay, you're going to stop talking about it? We're going to subpoena. You're not going to release the files and you're going to stop talking about it? We're going to subpoena the testimony of Ghislaine Maxwell and see if she tells us if she witnessed you doing anything inappropriate. We just want to hear what she has to say. Not specific to Trump, but that's what's obviously at stake here for the president.
Right.
He then says, all of a sudden, now he's interested again. Now the Department of Justice and the Deputy Attorney General are going to sit down with an already convicted violent sex offender to get her testimony.
Right.
To get her testimony? She's already been convicted. Quid pro quo. She was rewarded with a minimum transfer to a minimum security prison days after she sat down with Todd Blanche. What did she say during that testimony? Only a couple lines that mattered. She never witnessed Donald Trump behave inappropriately, and that 2011 email debunks that's
And that's
true.
unusual to you.
Wait.
You find that odd?
So then why is Epstein telling
suspicious?
why is Epstein telling Ghislaine Maxwell in 2011 that Trump spent hours at Epstein's house with a victim? That debunks that she did witness him in a private setting. You're telling me they were lying to each other in emails so that way it would contradict her testimony years later when Todd Blanche went and sat down with her? No, it doesn't make sense because she's lying. It's quid pro. Do you know what quid pro quo is?
Yeah, it means this for that. It's
Yeah,
Latin.
she got a deal for saying Trump was not involved criminally. So what would you believe? An email from 2011 where they have no reason to lie, right? Or testimony she's giving to the Deputy Attorney General when she's already been convicted and has every reason in the world to lie now. Every reason in the world.
I'm really surprised you're this gullible, dude, honestly.
Oh, my God.
Because here's the thing. No.
Oh, my
seriously,
God, guys. This is just
are
insane.
you
I'm
exhausted?
gullible. I just literally fucking told you.
Yeah, you're very narrow-minded. It's like you can only see one scenario that's possible, and it's that IMAX movie that's in your head, this whole picture and movie and narrative that you've created. And if someone like me calls in and says, hey, I don't know about that, that's not a fact, but you're deducing a bunch. You're extrapolating a bunch.
No, I'm not.
And my question to you is, are you really that naive to think that the president is not going to send, or anyone in the administration is not going to want to hear what this crazy bitch Ghislaine Maxwell has to say? She's not a reliable person. She was trafficking children.
You're proving my
So
point. You're
it would
proving
make
my
sense
point.
that if you're in this whole mess, that you're going to want to know what the crazy bitch is going to say.
He's proving my
Now,
point, and he doesn't
if
even
Donald
realize
Trump
it.
would have been covered up until after his second presidency
That's based
started.
on nothing.
There's just no way.
That
That's the thing you need to
premise is
convince
based
me
on
of.
nothing. That's based on nothing. But what you just said proves my point. She's a sex offender who, of course,
It was
lies.
based on the fact
Hold
that
on.
we had a Democrat
Hold
in
on.
office who wanted to send our president to prison.
So do you think
You don't
she's
remember
more
Joe Biden
like...
trying to send him to prison?
So hold on. Do you think she's
don't
more
remember
like...
that?
Hold on. Do you think she's more likely to tell the truth in private to her partner years prior to Donald Trump being in elected politics, or after she's been criminally convicted and is in a medium security prison and being offered a reward if she says Donald Trump was not involved in any criminal behavior? Do you think she's more likely to lie in
I would be more suspicious
2011?
if she ended up committing suicide.
Do you? I'm asking you a question. You want to answer or not? Because this will see if you're being disingenuous or not. Is she more likely to lie in 2011, or is she more likely to lie after she's been criminally convicted and has every reason to lie so she can be rewarded with a more cushy deal?
I don't know. I don't know how a pedophile's brain works. I really don't.
You're dishonest. That's all there is.
Apparently
You're
you
dishonest.
do, though.
You're dishonest. You're
Well,
dishonest.
apparently you know how they think. I don't.
No, but it's.
No,
do you know what
wouldn't let me
Occam's
respond.
fucking
You
razor
talk
is?
for 20 minutes, you set up this scenario, and then you won't let me tell you why I disagree with your scenario.
You don't disagree with my scenario. It's not based on anything. You're
You
not
won't let
coming
me
with
tell
any
you why
evidence.
I disagree with. Oh, where's your evidence? 3 emails that are esoteric and dubious, and no one knows really what the hell they're talking about.
I'm literally
And
laying
You got
it
this
out.
timeline that you're. I think you're spending too much time on something that's like, you guys. Why didn't they fix this when Obama, or didn't they send Jeffrey to jail like 4 or 5 years ago and he got let out? Who let him out? Was that
4 or 5
a
years
Democrat
ago?
presidency?
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
he committed
he
suicide
stayed-
under the Trump administration.
I'm
I don't know
talking
what
about
you're
before that. He was in deep shit. He thought he was. Do you not remember the first time he got busted?
4 or 5 years ago? What does that have to do with
Yes,
Obama? Do
he
you know
had
what
a big-
Occam's razor is? Do you know what Occam's razor is?
Go ahead and tell me.
Do you know?
I know this.
It's a principle, right,
I wanna
that
know if you know.
suggests that when there are multiple explanations for something, the simplest one requiring the fewest assumptions is usually the most likely.
Well, man, you got 1,000
What?
moving parts in your machine.
No, I
Darren. There's a
don't.
million
I've
things
given
that
you
go right.
wait.
It's like so
Guy, I don't
precarious.
Your
whole theory is
listen,
precarious.
Here's the thing. So here's what I'll do. I'll simplify this conversation, right? Give me what proof you would need to see in order to condemn him.
I would need a victim to step forward and say, Donald Trump diddled me, or Donald Trump diddled my friend, just something like that,
So
along those lines.
So thank you
But
for
the one-
walking.
the
Thank
one-
you
the
for
girl
walking.
who came out and wrote a
Excuse
book-
me.
Let
Excuse
me-
me.
I'm not finished
You
answering
just
your question.
walked-
I
you
appreciate
just-
the question.
Did you guys hear what he just said? He just said he would need a victim to come forward and say Trump did this to me. Guess what? You just lost. You just dunked on yourself because that's happened multiple times. Multiple times. Way to walk face first into the point. That's happened multiple times. And what did you do? You discredited them. You said they were lying. They have come forward. No, they would have to be specific to the... No, what? That they're not good enough? You just walked face first into the point, my guy. Face first. You literally broke your nose on the point. You broke your nose on that point. Have you guys ever seen someone walk into the point harder than that before? Have you ever seen someone walk face first into the point? My God. And yes, there's going to be quite a few Trump supporters who do this. Who say, yeah, it's no big deal. He absolutely dunked on himself. He shattered the background. The backboard. Holy moly, folks. Like the stream. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming today. Listen, here's the thing. I got to tell you guys. I have had the worst day ever. My brain is scrambled. I haven't been able to keep when this morning, just for some reason, my brain usually hits a point after an hour of being up where it's sharp and I start to be able to hit these points better. And today I just can't get it to do. Like my brain's just not there today, and it's because I'm just exhausted. Right? I'm just exhausted. Shut up, P Defender. Don't speak, P Defender. I would need a woman to come forward and accuse Trump. They have. You walked into the point face fucking first. I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for Trump supporters that walk into the point like that. I don't. They need to walk face first into the point, or they're never going to get it. They will deny it till the cows come home. That guy tells me I have a lot of moving parts. How do I have a lot of moving parts? I'm literally giving you evidence. These things happened. Ghislaine Maxwell, I ask you a straightforward question. Would she be more likely to lie in 2011, or would she be more likely to lie after she's been criminally convicted? She would be more likely to lie after she's been criminally convicted. Her lying in 2011 when she's having a private conversation with her partner, lying in 2011 when she's having a private conversation with her partner, when there is zero motive at that point to lie. He's not even in elected politics. Give me a break. That guy's a fucking idiot, FOD, anyway. Yeah, well, I'm trying to bring you guys as much content as I can, and I'm trying to have as many conversations as I can. But, I love the Fetterman call this morning. Man, screw him, dude. Fetterman is the worst. He really is. Guy, don't call from that number. You're clearly trolling. I am a staff sergeant in the United States Navy. Why isn't Kash Patel not having charges brought up against him for protecting the president? Well, listen. Number one, he'll probably get a pardon. But number two, that's a big question I have. And it's not just Kash Patel. It's the entire FBI. The FBI's director and deputy director built podcasting careers, specifically the deputy director, on uncovering the truth about Epstein. This clown testified there's no evidence that any young girls were trafficked to anyone but himself. Why has Prince Andrew just been ostracized if that's the case? Prince Andrew's career has been fucking ruined. You see Prince Andrew lately, everybody? He looks like he's knocking on death's door. He looks like he's knocking on death's door. Because he's finally being held accountable.
Call from
Caleb.
Hey, Caleb, you going to keep calling from a private number so you can prank me? You fetus. So can this guy tell me, right? This guy's claiming that there's no staff sergeant in the Navy. Yeah, that's true. There isn't, is there? Don't they use a different enlisted ranks in the Navy? Like petty officer or chief petty officer? I don't know. I believe that's correct. What's a staff sergeant rank? Isn't that the Marines?
call from
Trump, don't call me, you peed.
Fuck you.
What did Fetterman do? He's a fucking traitor, number one. Did you see how he voted? He's a fucking traitor. He's a Republican that ran as a progressive. His record has been trash since he got in there. No, that's what I always thought. I always thought that, like, I don't know. I don't know much about the Navy, but I do know that, from my understanding, that's like the staff sergeant rank is like a Marine Corps rank for E6. Fetterman is the new Manchin. Yes, he absolutely is. Listen, I have something planned. I have this thing where I want to confront Fetterman and be like, tell him that he's a dirtball politician and a liar, and he needs to put a suit on. I just want to troll him. I think it would feel good, and I'm working on that. So more to come. His fall was from Riccardi. I could care less what happens to Fetterman. People are going to die as a result of Fetterman. So millions of Americans are going to lose their health insurance because of Fetterman. So I have no respect for John Fetterman. I've never had any respect for him. He's a trash pail, and ever since I only liked him when he was running. Ever since he got elected, he's been a complete fraud. Complete fucking fraud. And I've been calling him every day and telling him I'm disgusted. I told him, thank God in Israel you have health insurance, unlike all the people who are going to die as a result of not having health insurance. But you don't give a shit about that, do you, dirtball? Jaden, I don't know what you do, man. I don't know anything about your MOS. Yeah, I don't feel bad for Fetterman at all. What's up, Desiree? I have to do a bunch of editing tonight too. It's gonna suck. So guys, let me go do that because I need to do all that and all that. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you to those who send super chats. I really appreciate you. We got to get into the weeds of this. Look, I think next week is going to be explosive too. We'll see what happens in the morning. I'm going to be up pretty early streaming on TikTok. Should I stream here or TikTok in the morning? Maybe I'll stream here in the morning. I don't know. We'll decide. But I'm going to either be on here or TikTok in the morning. Okay? So one of the two I'm going to be on. I love you guys. I appreciate your support. I'm going to keep grinding. No doubt about it. Taking the weekend off. A little bit of the weekend. I don't know if I'm taking the whole weekend off, but, you know, some of it, yeah. But I'll be on tomorrow morning. I'll be on tomorrow morning TikTok. And then worst case scenario, I'll be on Monday for you guys. But I'm going to try and come on sometime Sunday or whatever. Yeah, check me out on TikTok too, Nacho Jake. I'm on TikTok. You'll see my TikTok account has 150,000 followers. It's the same name, Adam Cray, one word. I think there's like 150 point something thousand on there. That's the account I stream on the most. There's a backup over there with like 30 something thousand. You can follow that one too. But I mostly stream on the one with 150. And I just started on TikTok debating, and we're going to grind on TikTok over here for the next couple of years and see where that goes. Charcity, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Charcity, I really appreciate you. Thank you, Betty. I appreciate you so much, Betty. Thank you for watching. Good night, Sarah. Have a wonderful night. Tyler, thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Some of your viewers are nice. I think, but everyone makes mistakes, and I don't think anyone's worried about it. Yes, Amasloth, we do. You can subscribe to Patreon in the link tree in my bio. You're too old for TikTok. I hear you. TikTok sucks anyway. TikTok sucks. YouTube's better anyway, to be honest. So, good night, Vika. So, have a wonderful night, everybody. Take care of yourself. Watch a movie tonight. Do something